Hello MBA aspirants, in this video we shall appreciate 5 parameters for GD evaluation. The first one is initiative. It is the ability to impart directional inputs. Directional inputs would mean that you are setting the direction for the group to proceed along. And this becomes even more relevant in case of a topic which is abstract in nature. For a factual topic, it is implied that the discussion has to be along a particular tangent, around a particular piece of information or an event or a fact. But abstract topics would require this ability even more. So for example, the topic for discussion is, and the clock struck 13. Now somebody has to define what is 13 here. So this 13 can be decoded in so many ways. And these different ways will define the different directions in which the discussion can proceed. The 3C approach helps: clarity, content, and confidence. Being high on initiative does not mean that you just start speaking for the sake of speaking. Being high on initiative would mean that you have an ability to demonstrate clarity, content, and confidence. Clarity in terms of the path to be taken by the group. As we said a while back, direction. Content in terms of pieces of information which add up to the discussion. Knowledge, the subject matter, right? And confidence helps you to sustain the discussion for a longer time. Imagine a situation where you start off because you were told that being the first speaker helps. So you just start off speaking, you wish the panel, you repeat the topic, and then you look around and you're out of confidence because you can't sustain the discussion for even a minute. That backfires for you. Could be showcased at the onset or even later in the course of discussion. Initiative does not mean that you are the first speaker in the discussion. Initiative means that even if you are the nth speaker, you are able to add new and relevant ideas. You are able to add a dimension to the discussion at any point of the discussion. So even the last speaker could be high on initiative. So initiative should not be confused with being the first speaker. It has to be understood in a larger way. Contribution. When you talk about contribution, there are 3 challenges: approach, role, and nature of contribution. Approach, there are 2 strands: action, reaction. When you contribute, you either act or you react. Action would mean your ability to add something new and relevant. Initiative. Reaction would mean that you have reacted to somebody's input. You have reacted to somebody's point. So reaction has to be understood in a certain other way. So either you act or you react. Role. You can play the role of a leader, a fountainhead, or a piggy rider. A leader is somebody who is able to take the group to the particular task or the goal. So the leader sets the pitch for the discussion. The leader moderates the flow of discussion. The leader, given a chance, also consolidates the discussion. The leader recapitulates the discussion at different points of time. So the leader is able to demonstrate the goal-setting abilities and ability to motivate the group members. Leader also plays the role of nurturing other members. If somebody has not spoken for the first 5-6 minutes but has been making futile attempts, you as the leader, you are able to sense that this someone has been making an effort but not succeeding. It will give you a lot of credit if you are able to give a chance to that someone to speak. But for that particular role, you also have to add value previously. Fountainhead is the person who adds ideas every now and then. Is somebody who keeps on adding fuel to the fire, doesn't let the fire die out. Right? So this person is the think tank. This person is able to pull out new dimensions to the topic. Piggy rider. Now, piggy rider may sound negative, but it may be taken well. It may be taken positively if you ride well. Ride on whom? Ride on somebody else's thought process. But for this, you need to be a fluent speaker. For this, you need to be good at group dynamics. Say your neighbor just added a point, but it was not the right time to add the point. So the point did not get acknowledged. It got lost somewhere. But you, as the vigilant someone, you took a note of that, you registered that point, you kind of modified it, and you entered the discussion at the relevant time with the same point in a certain other way. So what you've done is you've probably rode on somebody else's point, but you've done it well. Nature of contribution: positive, negative. Of course, we all understand that positive is the recommended approach, and negative is not. So what is a positive way of contributing? I remember this topic given for discussion in one of the topics. 2 plus 2 is always 4. Now imagine somebody starting off on a note like this. 2 plus 2 is 4. We all know it. Now the pitch, the tone is negative. This someone is dampening the spirits of other speakers. He is not letting the topic move ahead. He is killing it there. He's kind of containing the topic there itself and not letting it graduate. As compared to this, the other someone starts off by saying 2 plus 2 is 4. We all know it. But friends, do we buy things on the face value? Right? Can 2 plus 2 lead to a number more than 4 or less than 4? Now, look at the tone. The tone is such that he's encouraging others to think and therefore contribute. So this is positive contribution. Communication. Now, there are two challenges here: verbal and non-verbal. Verbal communication would have 3 dimensions: fluency, articulation, modulation. Fluency is the continuity of speech. The minute your speech has gaps, they kind of kill your communication, and you come across as somebody who's not fluent, who is not able to sustain the discussion. Articulation is clarity of speech. Clarity as in every word should be loud and clear and should be received well by the audience. And modulation is flavor of the speech, the way you vary your pitch with the situation at hand and keep the discussion active and alive. So these 3 will define your verbal communication. Non-verbal communication is about the energy. Now the energy is, we all understand energy as the capacity for doing work. So if you are low on energy, if you are indifferent, if you drop down your shoulders and you are sitting in a languid way, it showcases a negative person. It shows that this someone is not interested. So this someone does not have the energy to contribute, which goes against you. Posture. Now posture, we have seen so many people who are playing with their pens while speaking, who are swinging away their legs to glory, who are probably engaging in other movements which are distractive, right? Which show indifference and lack of interest and lack of participation. So posture has to be appropriate. You have to be upright, not rigid. At the same time, you have to look around confidently. Do not look at only one person, which leads us to the next challenge, which is eye contact. So you have to ensure the participation of everybody, but remember the Pareto rule, 80-20, that 80% of the time you need to look at the dominant speakers, and 20% you need to cover everybody else also. Because not looking at someone would mean disrespect to a particular member, and you are not the judge, you are not the panel. So you have to be open-minded. Gesticulation, your gestures have to be positive. Pointing a finger at someone is wrong. If you need to address someone, you can possibly project your hand, but keep the hand parallel to the plane of the body. It should not be perpendicular. The minute you make it perpendicular, it's like being rude to someone. So keep it parallel. Keep it in such a way that it looks impactful, and it supports your body language to create a positive, persuasive note. Persuasion. It's important to persuade other participants, more so in controversial topics. In controversial topics, we have seen a lot of heat building up because people disagree. People disagree because they believe that they are authorities on that subject, on whatever they are speaking. To be persuasive, you don't need to be forceful. To be persuasive, remember the 3-pronged approach, and that is ethos, pathos, logos. Now this we've taken from Greek philosophy. Aristotle was a person in 3rd century BC who talked about these 3 elements of persuasion. Ethos is trust, building trust. You will be able to build trust if you've been able to add some value. Give an example, give an illustration, support other speakers, modify someone's statement to make meaningful sense out of it. So all this will help you to build the trust part, which is important for persuasion. The next time you speak, people will listen to you because you have been able to create credibility for yourself. Second is pathos, which is about emotions. You have to understand the emotions of others. Possible that someone gets very sticky about a topic. So countering that someone at that point of time may not be a good strategy. So you have to let it go at that point of time. Understand the highs and lows, the ups and downs. So sensing the emotions of other participants is crucial for you to be persuasive subsequently. Logos. Logos is like the supreme element of logic. The minute you use logic, the minute you come out with some kind of an analysis, some kind of a comparative statement, if you are comparing two propositions, it always shows a superior trait, a logical ability, and logical ability is what is absolutely critical in the management world. So 3 things there: ethos, pathos, logos, trust, emotions, logic. So these 3 can help you to build up a persuasive argument. Group dynamics. Striking a balance between individual excellence and group performance. Remember, you are not in a presentation situation. You are in a discussion. It is not a debate, it's not a presentation. In a debate, you take a well-defined stand. You speak for the motion or against the motion. In a presentation, you are the only person who is treating the topic. But in a discussion, you have other members in the group also. So you can't keep on speaking all this while. You have to ensure that there's a balance between what you say and how the group reacts and receives it and takes it forward. Establishing positive relationships with participants. You are not supposed to hurt someone's sentiments, to trigger off controversies, to get into irrational conflicts. Try to build as many positive relationships as possible. Try to make people to like you, and that likability does not mean that you do not have a right to what you feel and think. It means that you understand the group really well and you know at what time and what point you have to introduce something, at what point you have to exit a particular thread of discussion. Ensuring a logical progression of the discussion. The discussion should not be randomly oriented, it should be more structured. So if you feel that somebody is going off the tangent, please own the responsibility to get that someone back on track, but do it in a polite and pleasant manner. It should not offend the other someone. You have to understand the other someone also has a right to speak. Right? So I think all this should help you to understand the parameters on which you are being assessed in a group discussion. The minute you understand the parameters, you can do a better job there and you can be successful in the group discussion. Thank you and best wishes.